Alright guys, this is a quick review of the Casio G-Shock G5600E. Recently bought this watch and went on YouTube to take a look at videos about this and about this watch, but I didn't find anything, so not in English at least. So I decided to make my own video for other people who are interested in this square G-Shock here. So this model slots in between the two more well-known square G-Shocks, the DW-5600 and the GW-5610. The DW is the non-solar, non-multiband. It's the most basic square G-Shock, goes for about $40 on Amazon. It has one alarm, no world time. The more advanced GW-5610 is like $90 or so. It has tough solar, world time, and also gets atomic time through a radio module. This G5600E slots right in between. It's $81 on Amazon, but I got it for around $65 on eBay. So definitely check eBay if you're going to go for it. It's in between those two models I mentioned previously because it has, tough solar. So you can see the solar cell right around the bezel there, kind of a dark purple color. But it doesn't have a radio for atomic time. I don't care for atomic time. I have automatic watches that are super inaccurate, so I don't need to know the exact time down to the millisecond or second. Not really something I need. So I bought this guy at a good price, kind of accidentally on eBay, as I tend to do, but I liked it a lot so far. It's a great size. It's roughly 45 millimeters in diameter. In terms of thickness, it's I don't know. What would you say? Maybe 11 or 12 millimeters thick. I'm sure you can find more exact measurements on the World Wide Web. In terms of functions, it's exactly the same module as in the GW-5610, minus the atomic function. So buttons are a little bit hard to press in my opinion. Here we go, world time. This is Taipei. It has 48 cities, 28 time zones, but you just go through all of them. Alarm, it has 4 alarms with a snooze function. Alarm 1, alarm 2, alarm 3, alarm 4. So that's nice. The DW-5600 only has 1 alarm and no snooze function, I believe. Stopwatch. Pretty standard stuff. I do wish that this upper right-hand corner told you the time while the stopwatch was running. I think that's a common complaint from these square G-Shocks. They don't have that, but they could have easily done it, in my opinion. Countdown timer. Not sure why it's TR. Timer. Who knows? But once again, when you start it, the upper right-hand corner doesn't tell the time. It just tells you the initial value of the timer. So, similar to all those square G-Shocks that you are probably familiar with. And then lastly, it goes back. It has daylight savings time functionality, little battery meter, low, medium, high for the solar cells, how well it's charged the battery. The PS, I had to read the manual to figure out what that was. That's power saving. Basically, if you don't press any buttons for a certain amount of time and it's during the night, the display will go blank to save power. I guess it's a nice feature to have. I think as long as you wear this just for a few minutes out in daylight every day, you won't really need to save any power, but I'll leave it on for just in case. In terms of its size, it's really small. It's one of the smallest G-Shocks, and actually because it doesn't have the radio capability, it's a little bit smaller than the GW-5610 from what I read. In comparison to my other G-Shocks, here's my G-9000. Focus. You can see the G-9000 is substantially bigger. It's a round one. It's much wider across and much thicker. to Mudman, so it has extra. I was holding upside down, wasn't I? To Mudman, so it's much, I don't know, more rugged than normal G-Shocks because they made it mud proof. I do like the illumination button on this one a little bit more. Hard to see in the daylight, but it has a big button for activating the electroluminescence. And here's another G-Shock. I'm going to go get it real quick. It's a DW-6900. This too has a big button in the middle for illuminating. I like that a lot. But as you can see, this one is part of the classic line, but it's humongous compared to the G-5600. It's even big compared to my Mudman. So, that's it for the review. Let's pop this guy on the wrist, see how it wears. I like this a lot, actually. So here it is on my 6.5-inch wrist, perfectly reasonable size. The buttons are kind of small and kind of finicky to push, in my opinion. Sometimes you'll push it and you have to push it a second time to get it to register. It takes some getting used to, especially coming from other G-Shocks such as this one, where you have big old buttons with you hear that grippy texture. These smooth metal ones are a little bit tougher to push, but I do like how thin it is on the wrist. It can easily fit underneath most of my shirt cuffs. So I'm not sure if I wear it with a dress shirt, but I could if I wanted to. And that's pretty much it. I think the solar panel is nice to have because you don't ever have to worry about changing a battery like other non-solar G-Shock watches. And the square is just a classic design. So really, really happy with this purchase. Looking forward to wearing it more. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, found it helpful if you're considering this watch. All right, have a good one.